Hello YouTube, this is my part 2 Dreamcast review. I'm going to be talking about the games that I own. I've got a few games for it, and that are both burned and real, but these are the ones. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I own real copies of. So I'm going to start with obviously one of the crown gems of the system that you should definitely get. It's kind of pricey, but I don't have the case, which makes it more pricey. Sonic Adventure 2. It's a great game. I think the first one's better, but Sonic Adventure 2 is a good game. It was the last great Sonic game until like Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations came out. Sonic Generations just came out, and I'm pretty sure it's really good. I like the demo, but this game was really fun. It was like Sonic's last great game. And next game on the list, Gauntlet Legends. Great arcade port, just like the arcade version. I played the arcade a lot as a kid. Played the arcade one. It was awesome. Good late '90s hack and slash game. You can play as all different types of characters, like the Red Valkyrie, my favorite character, and you got the Green Wizard and the Green Knight and all that stuff. Good game. I would recommend it. It's fun. One of Midway's best. Too bad Midway's not around anymore. Next, you've got Crazy Taxi. Good game. Obviously, everybody knows it. If you have it, if you've seen it on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, don't get it. I would recommend getting it on the GameCube or the Dreamcast because it's better on there because it has the original music of The Offspring and Bad Religion. Good soundtrack, and obviously it's got real locals like KFC and the now deceased Tower Records and all. Pretty awesome. Fun game. It's good for laughs. And next is a game. I don't know why they have not made the third installment yet. What are you thinking, Sega? You should make it. I know it's very expensive, and it costs like $6 million to make, but it's so great. Shenmue. Where's part 3? We've seen part 2. That was on the Xbox. And Dreamcast in other countries. I wish it was on Dreamcast here, but 2 is good, but this one's better, I think. There's just something about Japan that makes it more enjoyable. So this is Shenmue. It's a great game. It was way ahead of its time. It was designed to be the killer app of the system. Originally started development during the Saturn's time, but luckily it was put on the Dreamcast and not the Saturn because it's a lot better on Dreamcast than it would be on the Saturn. And it was way ahead of its time. It was the first open world game before Grand Theft Auto, really. I mean, you can go anywhere in this game. Obviously, there's loading times, unlike Grand Theft Auto, but obviously Grand Theft Auto was made like a year later, so you have to get cut some slack. But this game, you might like it, you might hate it. I don't know. It's a game to get accustomed to because you have to walk around and ask people what to do. Whether you liked it or not, I didn't mind that. I found the game enjoyable because it had such a great engrossing story. The story was incredible. It was awesome. Revenge and all. His father died in Real Hazuki, and he got to avenge his father's death. It's really cool. Good story. Although the voice acting is kind of bad, but once again, you got to cut it some slack. This is the early 2000s. Voice acting wasn't so great back then. Next, you have Skies of Arcadia. Pretty good RPG in the system. It's one of the best. It's expensive. I was lucky to get it for $25 at a local store. Used to be $50. I'm glad I didn't buy it for $50 because this game's expensive, but it's worth it. It was later ported to the GameCube, but I prefer the Dreamcast version, even though I've never played the GameCube version because Dreamcast version has the VMU memory game. Has a little mini game you can play on here that's pretty fun. Called Peach's Quest. It's pretty cool. And that is Skies of Arcadia. Very likable characters, good story. They're air pirates. I haven't beaten it yet because it's kind of hard, but it's a fun game. My friend told me about it, and I was like, I don't know if I should get this. And then I bought it, and the guy was like, you're going to love this. I'm like, okay. And I bought it, took it home, and was like, wow, this game's good. Power Stone. Great fighting game. Power Stone 2 is better, but that game's more expensive. I paid $27 for this one. It's not in very good shape, but it does its job. It's a good game. The first go anywhere, grab anything fighting game, as it says, on the planet. A little over exaggeration, but I mean it's a good game. There's very cool characters and they're funny. And one of the characters, what's his name? I forgot his name. Wang Tang. When he powers up with the Power Stones, he looks like a Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z. I found that to be awesome. The second one is like $70, so I would burn that game if I were you. It's pricey, but it's a good game. Because that one has 4 players. This is Elemental Gimmick Gear. It's an RPG. It's not command based like Skies of Arcadia, but this one's like a hand drawn like game. It's kind of weird. It's like in the future. It's cool. It's fun. I would only recommend it for like a total RPG fan like I am, kind of. Here is Space Channel 5. My friend saw this and was like, wow, I feel like I'm on acid. This game's weird, but it's good. It's a really fun game. I mean, it's one of the first dancing games to be ported to be sent to the U.S. Shipped, come to the U.S. before the time of DDR. So obviously you don't have a controller, Matt, and you're not dancing. But I mean, it's good enough. I mean, you just use the controller and you just hit like buttons to shoot, 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 and they say chew, and use a D-pad. That's hard. It's a hard game, very hard, very long learning curve. I still have yet to beat the first level because it's that hard, but it's a good game. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Music's great too. Jet Grind Radio. The second one I think is better on the Xbox because it's open world, but this one's pretty good. It's cel-shaded graphics. The first game to ever have that. Has really good music, and the story's pretty cool. It's a good game. Spray painting graffiti is always fun. And you've got Mortal Kombat Gold, aka Mortal Kombat 4. This is the Dreamcast version. It was exclusive to Dreamcast, this version, because it has a few extra characters such as Melina and Kung Lao and Baraka and Cyrax from Mortal Kombat 3 and 2. They're in that game. So it's pretty cool that they're in it, but I mean, it's not as good as the arcade version. Obviously, you can't touch the arcade version. The arcade was better, had better graphics and all. But this one's better than I think it's better than the N64 and PlayStation version. Loading times aren't so great, but it's a good game. It's fun. But if you've seen the new Mortal Kombat, that one's better. It's a lot better than this one. I would recommend that one over this one. I would only get this one if you have a Dreamcast and you just want a good Mortal Kombat game. It's good. Episode 1 Racer, Star Wars, the last game. If you like Star Wars, I love it. I love Star Wars, so I like it a lot. It's a fun racing game. I played it as a kid on the PC, and it looks just like the PC version. And it's fun. So, but obviously, if you don't like Star Wars or whatever, it's not one of the must-haves of the system, because it's exactly the same on every system you play it on. So that concludes my collection of Dreamcast games. The ones that so that's about it. Dreamcast is affordable, like I said before. If you want to get one, I would get one because it's a good system. I got mine for $35, like I said in the last video. They're pretty cheap. It's kind of a forgotten system a little. I mean, it's remembered, got a cult following, but it's like not as remembered as like the PlayStation 2, which was the system that killed it. So there you go, and see you later. I will do another review some other time with my other system. See you later. Bye bye.